Guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. In the whole vast universe, the most powerful ink, named Zalama, was very thoughtful, since he felt like beings of great powers appeared while his essence was of pure evil. I will have to leave a worthy successor, but it will be better to do it now, since I can't allow all this to go on like this. Zalama would begin to channel all this power in his energy core, but to his surprise, one of the most powerful warriors, specifically the Prince of the Infernos of the Four Universes, would prostrate himself in front of Zalama. But what my eyes witness, the legendary Zalama plans to destroy everything around him. What fun! Zalama, without having time to dodge, would be thrown hundreds of meters all over the universe, vanishing all the energy he had charged. Prince of Hell Freak, what are you doing in this place? And most importantly, how did you know that I would destroy everyone? That's obvious. We know that you are the most powerful god ever seen, and unlike us, your heart is of pure kindness, so together we have decided to end you. Threads of fate. Divine support! Several strands of energy were able to neutralize Zalama completely, while Frike would approach towards Zalama. We can't allow you to destroy anything, since all of us freed on the souls of the innocent, so it'll be better to finish, you coward. The Prince of the Underworld was about to hit your big blow, but to his surprise, Zalama's eyes shone, managing to put him in a very powerful illusion. The Prince, who was one of the four hells, would be surrounded by hundreds of demons. Ha ha ha! How naive you are! Do you think I won't be able to get out of an illusion of one of my hells? Several demons launched themselves against him, but from the same body of the prince, gold lashes were able to wipe out everything around him, even being able to torture one of the demons endlessly with the cruelty. Time to get out of this place. I have seen what is the opening point. Spiritual spear! The great spear was aimed at a specific demon, which was also the key to get out of the world. But at the moment of returning to the real world, he was able to observe how Gelshin was about to die. But Frake was not able to do anything because at that moment, to be about to help him, Zalama, with a strong kick, was able to tear off his head, and a great attack would disintegrate him completely. It's too late for all of you. I've been able to gather enough power to finish you off and leave my successor. I will let you, fucking worm! Divine Killer, Manifestation! That won't be so easy for you. Domain Expansion, World of the Great Zalama. Everything around him is illuminated with a great golden light as his pressure. That's right, being able to expand his domain, Frake's Divine Manifestation would not work at all. It's time. With my almost unlimited power, I grant the knowledge of this warrior who will be able to rule and bring the peace that I could not bring. I sacrifice Divine. A big explosion of Zalama was able to destroy absolutely everything in its path, even every god who was caught off guard. But two of them were able to survive, but their state was pathetic. Meanwhile, all the power that Zalama had been able to collect would begin to take the form of a small warrior with a tail. But in order for him to be able to go unnoticed, he would have to change genetically. You, the being who will be my successor, will have the ability to adopt the power of the best warrior race. Thus, you will be able to unleash the full power of my potential. So hundreds of years have passed since the power of Zalama was adapting to a race originally called the Ozarus, who lived in Universe 18. But upon being destroyed by Zeno-sama, the great energy would depart to Universe 7, which was a race very similar to that of the Ozarus, so that the warrior named Kakarot would be the descendant of the powerful Zalama, so that no one would even notice. He would take the appearance of a Saiyan named Bardock. With everything I know, my father has been through, I have been able to awaken my full potential, but at this age I'm still not able to achieve it. Kakarot, despite being only a child, would start training, being the pride of his Saiyan parents until one day, the evil Emperor Frieza would learn about the legendary legend of the Super Saiyan. So without wasting any time, the great Frieza would send to call all the Saiyan warriors who gather on the planet Vegeta. But the Saiyan Bardock, having the vision of seeing the future, was able to realize how Frieza planned to destroy the planet. But by trying to send Kakarot to the planet Earth, this would refuse completely. Bardock, with no option, would make him in front of everyone of Frieza's warriors, but he would be imminently defeated.
Die, damn monkey! Nothing compared to my authentic power.
A great attack would be able to be capable of ending Bardock's life, would be stopped without any difficulty by the little Kakarot.
Kakarot, get out of here! He's a monster, you won't be able to do anything! I appreciate your care, but you really don't know who I am, much less this garbage that's in front of me. I understand that you could transform. So do I.
Frieza, furious at being taken as simple garbage, would throw himself against that Saiyan at a great speed. But being about to hit him, the simple look of Kakarot would not let him move.
What is this? Why am I not able to move freely? I'll tell you one more time. Transform yourself, because I don't want to end you with just breathing.
Frieza, upset by that humiliation, would begin to access his last form.
You are a very annoying child, but with this power, you won't be able to do anything against me, you dirty monkey.
But the result would still be the same. Kakarot, having a much more Frieza personality, in a single attack would reduce Frieza to simple atoms of the entire universe.
You all have a great hostility, so if from today, if you don't want to die, you will change that attitude or face my anger.
The Saiyans would obey the orders of a child, but the Frieza soldiers decided to attack. However, Kakarot, from a few power outages, was able to finish off each one of Frieza's soldiers.
The power of these warriors possess is too low. I need to face dimensional gods to be able to increase my power more.
Kakarot would take Bardock to a rehabilitation capsule in which he would be able to fully recover. Meanwhile, the father of the Frieza, King Cold, would realize that his son had died on the planet of the Saiyans.
Damn Frieza! I always told you not to trust those damn monkeys. Now I will finish those dirty monkeys myself.
Frieza's father would begin to head towards the planet of the Saiyans. However, in a very distant place, the god Beerus would wake up from a long sleep.
Whis, how long did I sleep? I'm still too sleepy.
Mr. Beerus, you slept about 5 years.
Understand, because I'm sleepy, I only slept for 5 years. But tell me, Whis, is there any news you want to inform me?
Mr. Beerus, Frieza has died when he was about to fulfill his command to destroy all the Saiyans.
Is Frieza dead? I can't believe it, but tell me, who has the necessary power to beat Frieza?
He is a Saiyan boy who is not more than 10 years old, Mr. Beerus, but there is something about him which intrigues me a lot. I feel that he hides a gigantic power.
Well, let's go immediately to the planet Vegeta. We need to talk to that Saiyan.
Both deities would quickly leave for the planet of the Saiyans, in which all the warriors began to train since a small child had surpassed them by dozens of times. Meanwhile, in a place very far away from all the multiverses, Frake, the Prince of the Infernos, kept recovering his energy because he had left in a terrible condition. Damn, that damn Zalama was able to attack me with all that power. I can't believe it, that despite millions of years have passed, I'm still not able to heal those damn wounds. Frake would try to communicate telepathically with all the other gods, but it was impossible for him. Only one more god had the endurance to withstand that explosion.
Frake, I'm still alive, but I'm in the same condition as you. I'm not able to move at will. I'm still recovering despite millions of years have passed more. No matter how long it takes, we must heal all these wounds and end the hope that Zama's left in the multiverse. So both gods began to hibernate to be able to recover much more efficiently. Meanwhile, on the planet of Vegeta, King Cold has arrived, but was surprised to realize the presence of the god of destruction. Great Beerus, what is it that you do in this place?
But if you're Frieza's father, maybe we're in this place for the same reason. I want to know who was the warrior who ended Frieza's life.
But a child would start walking in front of them. But with each step, everything around him was distorted. Even the pressure he released, he was able to bend King Cold, while Beerus had a little difficulty staying on his feet.
What the hell's going on? How is a simple child able to release all this incredible pressure?
Mr. Beerus, I'm not able to observe through this child. It is as if a very superior force prevents me. Angel, don't make an effort to try to analyze me, because it'll be impossible for you. But tell me, what do you want on my planet?
I want revenge, since you killed my son. So it doesn't matter if he dies, or I'll finish you.
How pathetic you are. If you want to keep your son company so much, I'll send you to the other world with him.
Kakarot mercilessly would dismember King Cold to the point of only leaving a few pieces of flesh in one attack, would reduce him to mere atoms.
And now, what do you want? As far as I can tell, you're the deities of this universe.
Apparently you have a lot of knowledge about the deities of the universes, but tell us, who are you?
That is something I'm obliged to answer. If that was just your question, get out of here.
Beerus, annoyed, he would release his power to 50%, with which, being inches away from hitting Kakarot, Beerus' fist did not advance any further.
To be able to hit me, you have to be able to be at a level similar to mine and cross the energy barrier, something that's impossible for you.
Don't underestimate me, as I could send you to the other world.
Beerus released 100% of all his power, with which he'd begin to exchange multiple blows with that little Saiyan. Kakarot, now realizing that his barrier would not be able to withstand the blows of Beerus, he would face him. While Kakarot dodged the blows of the god, he would say to himself,
I have to raise my power, and I can't believe that the power of a simple god of destruction is able to breach my energy barrier.
Mr. Beerus, step back now. Beerus would listen to his master, and at the moment he would realize how in front of him a great sword of energy had failed to hit him.
Apparently you've been able to perceive my intention. You have good reflexes, Angel, but why don't you stand up to me?
We angels are forbidden to confront a warrior from any universe, since only our god of destruction should be in charge of this.
This pathetic god doesn't have enough power to stand up to me, so I'm waiting for you.
Beerus, annoyed, he would try to do something against Kakarot, but it was impossible for him. Kakarot would immediately notice how Warrior was trying to locate the power of Zalama, since in the cortex of the 12 universes, the divine eye could be perceived.
That won't do them any good, universal divine protection.
A great barrier in all the 12 universes would allow the divine eye to be able to locate the successor of Zalama.
So, Angel, would you like to fight me?
Whis would observe how his god had been left on the verge of death before a simple child. I have no other choice. I'm not going to let you make fun of Mr. Beerus in this way. The Angel Whis would get into a battle pose, getting ready to have a battle against Zalama's successor. Whis would begin to expel such a pure power, very contrary to the power of Beerus, which was absolute destruction. The power of Whis, despite rising unrealistically, only caused energy storms without destroying anything around him, unlike the power of his god, which destroyed everything in its path.
I can tell you have full control of your energy, but will you be able to see my movements?
Before being able to respond, he would be sent flying with a powerful blow, which would make him bleed too much. So much had been the power of the blow that even his internal energy seemed to get out of control.
Damn, the blow he has given me has been an incredible power. I have to repair my divine flow now.
Whis, quickly with the help of his staff, would begin to hit different areas of his own body, while Kakarot simply watched. At the moment, a big gulp of blood would spit Whis, but he felt much more relieved.
It's amazing that you're able to withstand just one of my blows using divine energy. Do you have the knowledge of the divine energy? Who the hell are you? I'm the existence which a simple angel like you could never explain.
If you think about destroying the entire divine world, or Universe 7, my father Daishankin will finish you without any compassion. He's the most complete warrior of all the 12 universes.
So the most complete warrior. I want to fight with him. So you better communicate with him or I'll end your miserable life right here.
Whis would flatly refuse, but Kakarot, showing his Ozaru side, would start to torture him cruelly. That's right, the Ozaru race, or better known as the early Saiyans, were warriors who were used to brutality on the battlefield.
Are you planning to change your mind, or do I really have to end your pathetic life? I'll never betray the High Priest, so finish with me.
But the whole Universe 7, a great golden light would emerge.
That's right, the great priest perceived that the vital energy of one of his sons was disappearing, so he went to his maximum speed. When observing Whis in such conditions, he would release an incredible power, so much so that he would give Kakarot a little surprise.
You have great power to be a simple creation.
Daishinkan, without waiting for Kakarot to keep talking, would begin to exchange blows, but would be surprised to realize how the body of a child was able to withstand all his blows. However, Kakarot would be thrown to a distant part of the planet Vegeta.
By your fortune, I'm an empathetic god. I'll do absolutely nothing to other Saiyans. I only plan to finish you.
Kakarot, which was embedded in a mountain with multiple wounds, would give a small smile.
It's admirable that, despite being on the verge of death, you still have the courage to smile. But that'll be the last thing you do.
Daishinkan has directed his last blow against Kakarot, but to his surprise, that boy was able to dodge him. Daishinkan was surprised to notice how Kakarot's body radiated an amazing power while his hair would turn a silver color.
I'm not able to use all my power as my body's still developing, but with this power, it'll be enough.
Who the hell are you? That is a way of the Ultra Instinct, but it's impossible for a simple child like you to be able to access such a state.
Why do you doubt that he's capable of possessing all this power? If you angels are able to access this state, why couldn't I?
We angels are blessed with that ability. You're a Saiyan.
I'll give you a lesson. Don't let your vision cloud you, because not everything that glitters is gold, just like not everything your eyes see is real.
Daishinkan, without understanding that metaphor, he'd be taken out of his thoughts with an incredible blow, which Kakarot had connected in his abdomen. Daishinkan's body would expel large amounts of blood while he was on the ground, unable to move. Whis, who had observed such an event, would be perplexed, since even the great priest had not been able to do something against the power of that warrior. I'm sure that Saiyan is not a simple child. The power he possesses even surpasses us, who have trained for millions of years.
How have you been able to cause me all this damage in one hit?
I don't intend to end your life, priest, but you better go away and ask each of your gods and angels to raise their power.
I don't know who you really are, but I can tell that your heart is pure, although you leave me with terror, feeling just one of your blows.
In just a few years, when I reach my adulthood, I'll come to the Kingdom of the Whole to be able to talk with the current ruler.
Current ruling? What do you mean by that?
Talk is over. Get out of here. I have to keep training.
Kakarot would throw some energy towards Daishinkan, with which he would be able to heal all his wounds, informing Whis and Beerus to leave for their planet in the same way, while Kakarot would begin to channel a small part of his power in the wounds that Daishinkan had granted him, although they were not serious.
As far as I can tell, there are great warriors in all these universes. I'll have to accelerate my growth to be able to prepare to end those bastards.
Kakarot would begin to accelerate his growth, since being the descendant of Zalama, he and this, and many more abilities with which he was able to master his power much more, and could even expel more energy since being an adult body, the load that his body could bear was much greater.
I'll have to train to master my new power and state, but I really need the help of that angel, and with me, I'll make him the most powerful angel.
Kakarot, having the qualities of a Saiyan, possessed a cold heart, so without telling anyone, he would leave to where he perceived the power of Whis, while both deities talked about everything that had happened with that Saiyan.
I can't believe that you're telling me, Whis. That Saiyan was able to bring Daishinkan down in one fell swoop?
That's right, a Saiyan hides too many secrets. We must be able to do something, because if he reveals himself against the whole divine world, it'll be our end.
I agree with you, Whis, because even if the High Priest was not able to cope with it, what could we do?
Don't worry, I will never destroy the divine world, and by the power you possess, I'll personally take care of your training.
Whis and Beerus were surprised, since they hadn't noticed the warrior who was behind their backs, but equally their astonishment was noticeable, since in only 4 days Kakarot had been able to reach his adulthood.
How is it possible that you've changed so much? In such a short time, you were a child only 4 days ago, and now you're a complete adult.
I'll tell you my biggest secret. I'm not an ordinary Saiyan. My original race is the Ozaru race, and my father is Zalama.
But that's impossible, since the Ozaru race belonged to Universe 18, while Zalama has never been seen. In the same way, he only created the Super Dragon Balls.
I know it's hard thinking, but take it in. It's the truth.
But if everything you have told us is true, how can you be alive after such a long time? That must be for good reason. That's right, my father Zama, he faced evil gods who had a similar power to his. But to finish them all, he used a big explosion. Before he died, he left me as his successor.
Now I understand why you're so powerful. I can't believe it.
That means that his status is even more higher than that of the great Zeno-sama. I want to master all this power. To be able to talk to the king at all, we have to increase the power we have.
But one question, why do you care so much if you possess the power of Zalama?
I possess a part of my father's power, but if both gods didn't die with that big explosion, they must have incredible power and endurance. I understand, Kakarot-sama. We're totally at your disposal from today. I appreciate it, but you have to be warriors just as powerful as me, and even surpass me. And don't worry, because for that, I'll be with you guiding you.
We will really be trained by you, this direct successor of the almighty Zalama.
That's right, we'll be a great team. So let's start, since we have to be the ones to attack first.
Kakarot would begin with the training of both deities. While far away from that universe, the god Shin, who had used his special divine eye ability to be able to locate some descendant of Zalama, had not been able to observe anything within the 12 universes.
Freak, as you order it, my creator himself will be.
That demon, possessing much more power, was able to destroy the barrier of the underworld by entering the world of the living again. Daishaken would quickly perceive the demonic essence.
What is that disgusting power? Apparently a being from the beyond was able to enter our world.
Daishaken, being a protective angel of the 12 universes, was able to turn to that great evil presence before it destroys any planet.
Who are you, demon? And how have you been able to get out of the four hells?
That's not something I have to answer you.
You're interfering with my plans, so now you'll pay with your life.
The demon was able to start exchanging blows at the mass speed of Daishaken, which would leave the same priest very surprised by all the power he was able to expel.
Is that all your power? You're a good-for-nothing guardian. Now I'll teach you what the supreme power is.
The warrior would begin to expel great power, with which a red aura would be created around his entire body, starting to walk towards where Daishaken was, which was not able to move in the slightest. That demon of expelling that power was able to perceive by Kakarot.
One of Freak's warriors has been released. This will be his first finish. Finish that damn bastard!
Of course, Kakarot-sama. Kakarot, with his great speed, was able to arrive before Daishaken's eliminated. That's right, with the new demonic power, he was able to sweep the floor with Daishaken. But Kakarot had arrived at the exact moment. However, he'd be surprised that Daishaken when he noticed that Kakarot was backing up.
What are you doing here? Do you want Whis-a-Beers to be able to face that monster?
They have been trained by me, so you have nothing to worry about.
The slight annoying demon would try to hit Beerus, but Beerus, with great elegance, and was able to connect a big blow to the abdomen of that warrior, which would make him spit out too much blood.
You're nothing compared to Kakarot. You're nothing worthy of observing 100% of all my power, so I'll only use half.
Beerus would expel 50% of all his power, but he'd already been able to overcome Daishaken abysmally. The incredible power of the destroyer god Beerus had been so much that it would leave Daishaken very surprised, since he had been surpassed by hundreds of times.
Father wouldn't be surprised with so little, since that's only 50% of Beerus-sama's power.
Was Beerus really serious when he said it was only 50% of all his power? How did they manage to get all those Whis powers?
We meet again, priest. Don't worry, it's not any evil power. I personally have taken care of training them.
I understand that you've taken the time to train them, but it's impossible that they have improved so much in such a short time.
Training with the best. One way or another it changes you, because they had to adapt to my power. Remember, priest, everybody has a survival instinct, so either you adapt and fight, or you stay in the place where you are and die.
I don't know what you are or who you are, and I'd love to know your origin. And I thank you for saving my life.
Don't worry, priest. After this training battle, I want you to gather all the gods and angels in this palace of the one who calls himself the ruler of the whole.
Okay, Kakarot-sama, whatever you order.
Kakarot, with a small part of his power, was able to Daishaken to recover completely and even restore all his energies. Daishaken would put a very serious look as he was very thoughtful.
How is it possible for a Saiyan to be able to possess all this power? It's true, I don't compare myself to his power, but it must not be an easy thing to restore all of my energy. Returning to the battlefield, both warriors had destroyed several planets, in which the demon was very badly injured by the incredible blows that Beerus connected to him.
How's it possible that a pathetic being from these universes is capable of harming me? You've only faced the wrong warrior, since you even have the necessary power to bend the High Priest. I don't care what I have to do. I promise I'll destroy you.
On the other hand, in a very distant place from everything existing in a kingdom which was known as the spiritual kingdom, Zalama would wake up after having slept for billions of years. That's right, Zalama, being the first presence of that existing void, would be considered a celestial, and having the feats of giving his life to end evil, he was worthy of belonging to the celestial kingdom. Zalama, very confused, would stand up, but in front of it, a beautiful woman with silver hair would stop him. So, after millions of years, you have woken up. You really are gifted, because even the greatest geniuses take much longer than you. Who are you? Where am I located? What is this place? I died?
Oh, so many questions. Don't worry. I'll help you answer each one, so it'll be better to leave in search of your answers.
Both would leave quickly. While Zalama was flying over all the territory, he would realize that it had a similar appearance to paradise, since they were large green areas until they came to a large fountain.
Because there are too many questions that you have, it'll be better that you drink a little of the water of wisdom. It'll grant you the answers that you're looking for.
Zalama, a little incredulous, he would drink such water in which millions of memories, and even he was able to observe the final explosion and granting a large part of his power to his successor. Am I dead?
I wouldn't know how to answer that question exactly, but you will always live in this world, which is known as the spirit realm.
What other warriors live in this place?
There are not so many warriors, since only a few are chosen to live in this world. But the warriors who are here are people who did something relevant in history.
What have you done for you to be in this world?
Although it may not seem like it, I'm the queen of space-time, and I was able to save all the timelines that exist, because if I don't, the entire multiverse would explode.
You really are a hero, but what if I don't want to be in this place?
No one has ever said that. Don't you like this place?
Of course I like it, but there's something that I still haven't solved in the world of the living, and my son, my successor, is in danger, since two beings just as powerful as me are still alive. Around both of them, hundreds of shadows had covered everything. That's right, while a warrior was approaching towards both of them, with every step he took, the ground and everything around him was shaking.
Didn't you like the spiritual realm? I'm the leader of this place, and even several gods know me as the founder of this place.
How does the founder of this place possess a lot of negative energy?
Negative energy is not only used for evil, because if you really want to do something for the universe, it doesn't matter what essence or energy you possess.
I agree with you on that aspect, but please, let me out of this place.
Even if I wanted to let you out of this place, you'd die, because when you just wake up, your body must adapt to everything, and even in this new place, if you leave here with such low power, you'll be turned into simple dust of space.
How long does it take for you to be able to leave this place?
You have to wait about a century, because for gods like us is no problem, but in case you want to do it, try.
Zalama, in the hope of being able to leave the place, he would try taking out one of his limbs, but at the moment of doing so, his arm would be turned into ashes, as if a very hot fire had turned it into simple dust. Hell, I have no choice but to totally trust Kakarot. Returning to the battlefield, the demon would have been totally massacred by Beerus. But before Beerus finished with him, Kakarot would ask to speak to that guy.
Tell me, who sent you to this place?
Kakarot would be upset as he felt like that demon had spat in his face.
For that very reason, it has a horrible ending. I'll not kill you because if I do, I'll be informing them that there is a capable being of exterminating you.
What? Didn't you mean to end my life?
Of course not. Now I'll seal you in my Azaru body, in which you'll always be tortured by me. Although they'll only be mental attacks, but you'll feel it so real you'll ask to die.
The demon would try to flee, but it was too late, because at the moment, Kakarot was able to make a great beast appear all over the universe. This beast, with a big bite, had swallowed him up, leaving him absolutely nothing.
Ozaru, come to me! Ozaru seal activation!
Hundreds of purple energy ices began to neutralize the body of that demon, which was not able to do anything, and due to his screams, Kakarot of hundreds of shadow spirits was able to seal his mouth completely.
Since you didn't want to talk, I've taken away the possibility for you to.
Kakarot-sama, is that the limit of all your power, or does it have a lot more hidden power?
This is only a small part, but we must have great power to be able to face the real destroyers.
True destroyers? What do you mean, Kakarot-sama?
I'll explain this more in detail to everyone, but it'll be better if we go to the ruler's palace, since I want to explain it only once.
Everyone would arrive quickly since Kakarot's speed was impressive, while with Frake, he was very thoughtful.
What happened? I'm not able to feel the demon energy I sent, but his vital signs are stable. What's going on, Frake? I can only feel how power has gotten a little out of control since, like all your emotions. Has something bad happened?
No, it's not at all. I'm just not able to connect with the demon that I sent to destroy all universes.
Ha 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 ha! Don't worry about it, Frake. Do you think anyone has enough power to face a demon with the essence of your powers?
You're right, Gelshin. I'm just getting too worried. Returning to the kingdom of the whole, Daishinkan would make a call to all the gods and angels who, realizing the threat of which Daishinkan had informed them, had headed at a great speed. The instant they arrived, they would all bow down to the great priest. We must not waste time. I present to you the Saiyan who is even able to overcome my power and make Whis-Abiris have much greater power than mine.
I introduce myself. I'm the successor of the powerful Zalama, or the one you know as the creator of the Super Dragon Balls. 2 potential enemies are approaching. I don't have an exact date, but it'll be the most catastrophic war and battles of all the universes.
I don't know. You have to prove some of your power for us to be able to trust you, because these seem like pure fairy tales. God of Universe 11, for that comment, I'll exterminate you right now.
Don't worry, Daishinkan. Beings without any knowledge, they're not able to understand that there are beings much more powerful than them outside the 12 universes.
Kakarot at that moment would expel only 5% of his power, with which he was able to make all the gods and angels fall. No one was able to move, even Belmaud, who he was not able to do anything, while Beerus would approach Belmaud.
You're a clown. You never knew how to control your mouth. I hope you'll be able to get out of this meeting alive.
I can't move a single finger. How is it possible that the Beerus is able to move freely?
If you ask why Whis-Abiris are able to move freely, the answer's simple. They were under my teachings.
Belmaud, despite using all his power, and even the power of destruction, was not able to do anything. Kakarot would stop early with his rigorous training. That's right, Kakarot, despite being only a Saiyan, was able to train the deities of Universe 7, and this time he would even begin to train Daishinkan, who had a much higher level of learning than Whis. Returning to the remoteness of the universe with the 2 remaining gods, Gelshin, a little more recovered, was able to move. However, his body still had several injuries which were able to limit him, and even he was not able to enter into battle.
You're getting closer. A few more years and we'll be able to free ourselves from those damn wounds and end everything once and for all.
Kakarot, despite having all the divine support, he was very thoughtful, and even though he had not taken a great training, his power was gigantic, so much so that he was even able to possess a part of the Ultra Instinct at his base state.
The power I possess is incredible, but I feel that it's not enough to face both gods who didn't fall because of my father's explosion.
Kakarot-sama, what is wrong with you? I've seen him thinking for several days now.
Whis, we're getting ready. We've been able to defeat a demon from one of the 4 hells, but something's not right.
Don't worry, Kakarot-sama. With your great power, there's nothing to fear.
No, Beerus, you're completely wrong. Because in any corner of the universe, there will always be beings much more powerful than us.
But Kakarot-sama, his father, the mighty Zalama, was the first god, so there must be no one more powerful than the creator of everything.
In one part, you're right. My father created what is now known as the 8 multiverses, but outside of those multiverses, that exists?
Isn't the infinite void, Kakarot-sama? There are beings who believe the same as you think, Whis, but my thinking's different. I think that outside of everything, in the same way there's life and beings that we don't know. But that's right, Kakarot was totally correct. Since crossing the multiverses created with the power of Zalama, there were dozens of worlds, in which even one of them was called the Forbidden World, due to all the beings that seem to have no limit to their power.
Freak, it's time. We've been able to recover completely, or are you still in bad condition?
No, Gelshin. I'm already recovered anyway, so it's time to end that damn nuisance. Both warriors, when they stood up, released an incredible power, which was able to destroy millions of planets. All the deities felt such pressure which did not allow them to move freely. So this is the pressure of the beings we have to face. But thanks to Kakarot's training, I'm able to withstand it. Kakarot-sama, apparently the last two gods have come forward.
You're right, Whis. It's time to put an end to the whole damn story. I plan to defeat them to honor my father's death.
But at the incredible pressure it would be perceived even in the Heavenly Kingdom where Zalama was, Mayuki, he also felt such pressure, but he would give a small smile. Whose pressure's that? They look like simple worms want to raise their power. Zalama would be very surprised by Mayuki's comment because for Zalama, it was an incredible power. Don't tell me, Zalama, that pressure amazes you? They're simple worms that barely, and their power reaches the level of a priest.
You're wrong, Mayuki. This power is much greater than the power of a priest. I'm sure of that.
But that wouldn't matter to us, since we don't belong to that world anymore.
Mayuki, please. My son must be in danger. I'm begging you. There must be a way to get out of this place.
There's a way, but you'll only be able to go to that place for 1 hour.
Okay, I just wanted to give a few recommendations to my son to get ready to finish those bastards.
It's okay, Zalama, I'll help you. Mayuki would begin to raise a little of his divine power, with which the body of Zalama would be covered in a great light. At the end, a very different Zalama could be observed, since his appearance seemed that of a simple human, but negative energy radiated from his entire body.
What is this, Mayuki?
In order for you to be able to get out of this place, you have to have a much more resistant body, and in the same way, master the negative energy.
That means that with this body, I'm able to master the negative energy.
That's right. Not in its entirety, but in a good part. Since you crossed the barrier of both worlds, you only have 1 hour.
That's more than enough, Mayuki. I swear, I'll return this favor to you.
Zalama, with his great speed, would begin to cross all the barriers of the Celestial Kingdom. Meanwhile, in the 12 universes, Frake was able to feel the presence of Kakarot, being a very similar energy.
After so many millions of years, I'm finally able to feel that damn energy again. This'll be a lot of fun. I want to destroy everything in my path.
But in front of the both warriors, all the Divine Kingdom would stand in front of them, and between all of them, Kakarot would take a big step to the front, which caused hundreds of catastrophes with each of his steps.
So you're the ones who want to put my father Zalama on the ropes?
Apparently the damn Zalama. I grant you the knowledge in the same way. Frake, without being left behind, would begin to release his power, leaving Kakarot very surprised. That's right, the power that Frake was releasing would leave him surprised, realizing that despite the great training he had given to the divine beings, it would all be impossible for them to endure this great battle. Kakarot would observe them all, and without warning, he would create a big hole, with which he'd also absorbed them all, disappearing at that moment.
What are you trying to do? You should know that if you die, the garbage you're trying to protect will still. Of course I know, but for that reason I'm not allowed to lose. I plan to finish with each of you, even if it costs me my life.
The warriors fell into place far away from the 12 universes, but when they tried to leave that planet, a great barrier would prevent them.
What the hell? Why has Kakarot-sama done this? We've trained very hard to be of help in this great battle.
No, Whis, if Kakarot has done this, it'd be for a big reason. You surely realize that we wouldn't have the required power. Before Whis was able to say anything, in space they were able to observe hundreds of three-dimensional cracks which were caused by the clash of their fists. Really, even though we trained, we wouldn't have been able to withstand a single one of his fists. This is amazing. Even me, being a priest, I look like a simple ant.
Best thing we could do is to entrust all our energy towards Kakarot-sama, for him to take care. I'm ashamed to say, but even I wouldn't be able to do anything.
All the warriors began to channel the power so that it received by Kakarot. Meanwhile, returning to the battlefield, the fight between Kakarot and Freyk, the first prince of the underworld, seemed to be very even. But in each exchange of blows, Kakarot looked more injured. Kakarot, with his great speed, would take distance, but when he appeared after a mountain, Freyk, with his great physical strength, he connected a powerful blow to the stomach, which made him create great destruction, being sent to fly to hundreds of mountains around him.
This has been a waste of time. I thought that being Zalama's successor, I would have had the same power. I've been wrong.
Kakarot, with that blow, he had completely lost his defense. That's right, Freyk's blow was so powerful that it left him very stunned. Not satisfied with this, Freyk, without waiting for him to recover, would begin to grant him millions of blows all over his body. Kakarot would fall to the ground again and again.
I cannot lose. I'm not allowed to lose. I'm the god who will bring peace to everything around me created by my father.
The beating Kakarot was receiving was one of the most brutal in his entire life.
I'm tired of playing with you. I'd better finish with you.
Freyk's fist was heading towards the heart of Kakarot, but from all the space, a great being would appear, just as an opposing was felt all over the place.
Stop! Do they even want to die?
Freyk's fist would be destroyed. That's right, the simple pressure was able to destroy every one of his bones. Gaussian would release a little more of his power, with which he was able to withstand the pressure.
Who the hell are you? I had no idea which multiverse has such a powerful warrior. You're not worthy to know my name. Only you should know that if you touch this warrior again, I'll end your miserable life. Damn, I don't care who you are, but I'm the prince of the underworld, so you have to speak to me with respect. Ha ha ha. Respect? You're nothing but scum.
Freyk would pounce against Zalama. Gaussian would try to stop him, but it was useless. Freyk, who was invaded by anger, would start exchanging blows with Zalama. But Zalama dodged each one of his blows with great elegance.
This can't be happening. I'm one of the first gods to exist. Pathetic warrior can't humiliate me like this. Humiliate you? Ha! I haven't humiliated you yet. But very soon you will know the real humiliation. Shut up! 1,000 rays from the underworld!
Thousands of rays would collide with the whole body of Zalama. Freyk, confident that he had pulverized it, was surprised to realize how his powerful attack had been nothing for that warrior.
Who is he? He's humiliating Freyk completely. I'll join since we're in this together. I'm not gonna let my best friend get killed.
Gaussian, along with Freyk, began to attack Zalama from all sides, but the speed of both gods was insufficient to reach Zalama. Both were sent flying with hundreds of wounds all over his body, while Zalama would approach the body of his beloved successor, placing one of his hands on Kakarot's chest.
You've done well, my son, but you have to master your power completely.
Zalama, with his touch, had been able to transmit much more knowledge of the battles and had restored his power completely.
Damn, how the hell did he hit us? I wasn't able to see anything. That warrior must be a super warrior who's been taking care of Zalama's offspring. Gaussian and Freyk, I never wanted to go to these extremes, but you have searched for everything that happened. How is it possible that you know our original names? I was the one who created the big explosion. I can't die. I just transform my energy. Damn Zalama.
Zalama, with as little of his demonic power, was able to summon a door that radiated darkness just like its color was black. Instantly the door opened, Zalama would throw both gods with great brutality.
It would take them several years to get out of that dimension. Zalama, when you get out of this damn dimension, rest assured we'll wipe out every being that exists in all multiverses.
Zalama would take his successor and head towards the planet, on which he had easily destroyed the barrier into hundreds of pieces.
But who are you? Despite your negative energy, I feel no bad intentions in you. You're a great observer. That's right, this is a borrowed body. I'm Zalama, and I was not going to allow my successor to die.
But if you're the legendary god Zalama, all the gods would make a bow. Just like the angels, Zeno-sama would approach towards Zalama.
Mighty Zalama, what's the reason why you don't end those threats yourself? He has the power to do it.
You're right, Zeno-sama, but I don't belong to this world anymore. So if I interfere or annihilate any beings from these worlds, something much worse can happen. We'll take care of Kakarot-sama, and I assure you that this great battle will be able to win it. I'm counting on you, as you have great powers.
The time of Zalama had ended, so he would be transported back to the Celestial Kingdom, in which Miyuki would approach Zalama.
I didn't know who was capable of putting you in that desperate situation. But apparently a successor really exists.
That's right. Since everything created by me, I don't want a bastard to destroy it.
Don't worry, I've been able to realize the potential that your son has, and he will not be defeated so easily.
Meanwhile, inside Kakarot, he was meditating.
My father's been able to help me. He was able to save me. I have to become more powerful and surpass my powers. I have to be able to destroy this great barrier.
Kakarot was saying this to himself while observing a great distance between his power and a power within which he wished to reach. Kakarot, for several minutes, was observing all the great amount of energy that came from the inner part to which he was not able to enter. Even if my body's destroyed, I intend to destroy this whole place, to enter the new level of power that place will give me. Kakarot, being inside his body, would begin to increase his body to the limit, while on the outside his whole body was suffering incredible damage, since too much blood was spreading from all over Kakarot's body. Daishaken, with the help of Angel, they began to heal him, but despite using all their power, it was impossible for them to keep Kakarot in a good condition so that at that moment, but from all over Kakarot's body, Inozaru could be seen all over the place. I will protect my master's body. He plans to surpass the celestial rank. For that reason, he has to take his body to the limit, since we are in the final round. Final round? What do you mean? Zalama was able to seal the last two gods for about 12 months, but in that time, Kakarot must have surpassed the power of Celestial Empire. The entire essence of the gigantic Ozaru would begin to protect Kakarot's body, while inside Kakarot would take his body to the limit, so his muscles had grown exponentially. I, the mighty Kakarot! I'm not going to give up, damn it! Kakarot, with a loud roar, was able to break the barrier in front of him, being able to feel all that incredible power flowing throughout his body. Kakarot, before becoming unconscious, would enter that space full of power. I've overloaded my body. I'm surprised it didn't explode, but I've succeeded. Now, I'll have to master this power. Kakarot would be knocked out while all that great power became one with Kakarot. Meanwhile, on the outside, Kakarot seemed to be asleep as he had even returned to his base state completely. Apparently, he has been able to access a new level of power, but if what that beast told us is true, we still have to train. Father, why at this time all of us merge? That among all the angels and gods we merge for 14 months. Whis, you're right. Since then, we'll be able to do more to help Kakarot-sama. He'll even be able to have incredible power boost. Okay, that's what we'll do right now, so we can start training anyways. Daishaken was able to create a great pentagram in which they were able to unite unto one being. But before merging completely, Reich, the creator of the Celestial Kingdom, would grant them a much more resistant body and with the ability to increase their power much faster. I want that old multiverse to survive, and that they can enjoy the life I once wanted. Reich, I've seen what you've done, but why do you have your negative essence? And despite that, you're an honorable warrior. I have committed unforgivable acts, but every day I try to remedy them, and I know that one day I'll find forgiveness. I don't know what you've done, but with all this, I assure that you will be able to find forgiveness. Trust that, friend. It's been a million years since anyone called me friend, but in this place, you're able to expel all your power. How about a battle? Does the creator of the Heavenly Kingdom want to be defeated by me? Don't make me laugh. You don't possess the power to be able to defeat me. That's what I want us to check. Both warriors began to exchange hundreds of blows, but Reich, with his great manipulation of space, would make both appear in a far place away from the spiritual realm so as not to cause some damage. Zalama was able to connect a powerful blow to him, which would make him retreat a few meters, while Reich, with a great dark power, created several negative energy shadows, which tried to stick to Zalama's body, but the powerful god Zalama was able to destroy each of his shadows with multiple energy attacks, but as it were a lightning bolt, Reich on his back connected a big blow, causing Zalama to fall to the ground, very badly injured and being almost out of combat. You're still powerful, but you lack experience on the battlefield. And also, would you fall to the ground vomiting blood? But he was very confused. What the hell happened? I was the one who attacked you first. How's it possible that you did this damage to me? You're correct.
You attack it first, but I use my threads of fate to damage your internal organs.
Reich would hardly stand up.
So you're a great warrior that even does damage to the insides of the body. This battle's getting very interesting.
While both warriors were fighting, Mayuki watched as his king was not amused for hundreds of years. I'm glad to know that my king, with the arrival of Zalama, would start entertaining. It seems that he'll return to the fights. Zalama at the moment would fall into a big lake, but he was totally corrosive, since he was infected with this incredible negativity, in which Reich would also enter since he would not be affected by his own technique, but by trying to hit Zalama.
This hurts, damn it! King Lightning!
The Great Lightning was able to disintegrate the entire lake and cause great damage to both warriors, but the one which caused the most damage would be to Reich, since he had no defense, unlike Zalama, who created a layer of energy around his body.
It's time to end this battle. Domain expansion! Dragon Likedom!
A powerful dragon would pounce against Reich, who, despite being on the ground and with fatal wounds, would observe the incredible dragon would approach towards him.
So you use the domain expansion. That's interesting. Domain expansion! Empty infinity!
The powerful attack of Zalama would be devoured as if it were something tiny. Zalama was surprised. He tried to throw another dragon again, but before using his technique, he would be stopped by several shadows.
Domain expansion. Shadow of the Assassin King!
All the shadows started blasting Zalma's power, but before they were able to take much more power from her, Zalama would create a small explosion, disintegrating each of her shadows.
This is my last attack. You're powerful, Reich. Domain expansion, Divine Hands!
The most powerful attack of Zalama would give appearance, the technique which he would defeat Frake. But Zalama was surprised to observe the same technique, but the invocation of Frake was twice his size.
I too. Domain expansion, Supreme Divine Hands!
Reich's Divine Hands completely crushed Zalama's technique, just like it would grant him several hundred blows, making him vomit blood and fall to the ground with a big smile.
What an awesome warrior. It'd be fun to train with you again after millions of years.
Reich would fall to the ground very badly injured, and with a big smile, Mayuki would approach both of them, helping them to recover. Meanwhile, in the dimension to which they had been sent, both gods, 8 months had already passed quickly, which had been able to raise their power to an incredible level.
We have only been able to find the exit, but apparently in 12 months it'll open. There are only 4 more months left. I, the Prince of the Underworld, once the head of Zalama's successor.
Kakarot, in the 8 months have elapsed, he still did not wake up, but his power had risen in an incredible way, since he was training in his internal energy system.
Well, you have 4 months to be able to beat those wretches completely.
Meanwhile, we could observe a powerful warrior with a spear, destroying hundreds of debris, but his speed was unreal. That's right, this warrior was the fusion of all angels, and likewise bore the name of Daishinken, being the one who was in command of the fusion. The power that we have achieved in these 8 months was incredible. Will be a great help to Kakarot-sama, but I'm worried that he'll not wake up yet. Daishinken would continue with his great training. That's right, everyone was preparing for the great battle that is coming in a few months. Meanwhile, inside Kakarot, this one was again meditating.
This is my last month of meditation. I have to go back to the outside world to find out how the situation is.
Time would pass quickly, in which, on a certain day that Daishinken was training, he perceived how Kakarot's power would grow suddenly. That's right, when Kakarot woke up, his body had evolved, opting the ultra-perfect instinct as his new base state, and to be able to withstand much more energy load, Kakarot would shake all the planets of the 12 universes. But he was surprised to observe how a warrior approached him and was not affected by his pressure.
Who are you? How are you not affected in the least by my pressure?
Kakarot-sama, it's me, Daishinken. Only all the angels and gods have merged to be one with much more help.
This is incredible! His power is at least multiplied 1,000 times more.
Kakarot-sama praises me, but according to what his Ozaru informed us, the gods are about to leave that place in about 45 days.
Daishinken, do you feel ready to face them?
That's right.
And let's not think about all this anymore. Today we'll put an end to all this, since I'm able to invoke the same dimension to which my father sent you.
Kakarot, with his great power, was able to channel an incredible negative power, with which he managed to invoke the Great Gate, from which quickly both gods had appeared in front of them.
So you're the scum. You only anticipated your imminent death.
Furious, Frike would pounce against Kakarot, but to everyone's surprise, Kakarot on this occasion, with only one of his hands, was able to stop the blow that on the previous occasion sent him flying.
You're not fighting the same warrior, so you better be prepared to die.
Frike, being able to say something, would be brutally beaten in his side, for which several of his ribs would be completely broken. Gelshin, trying to go to the aid of his companion, Daishinkan would stand in front of the same.
I'll be your opponent. I'll not allow you to interfere in the Battle of Kakarot-sama. You're nothing compared to me, so get out! It doesn't matter that you've merged with other warriors, you're still a piece of trash.
Both begin to exchange several blows, with which, destroying planets of all the universes, the beings of the Celestial Kingdom, they realize that the last battle had begun.
I trust you, Kakarot.
Frike would recover from that blow, releasing the power that left Zalama amazed.
That's right, I also trained in that damn place that Zalama sent to us.
Kakarot, without being surprised in the slightest, would begin to fight with that guy, but the fists of the Prince of the Underworld were trembling with every exchange.
This can't be happening. It can't be. You can't imagine the power I've gained to be able to end your pathetic life.
That's right, the incredible power that Kakarot had achieved in these months, he had been able to overcome Reich by hundreds of times. While the battle of Daishinkan and Gelshin, Daishinkan would begin to take the advantage because Gelshin, his specialty was silent combat.
Hell rays.
Hundreds of rays came out, fired against Daishinkan, which dodged each of the rays with a little difficulty, but each ray contained an incredible power. Daishinkan, when arriving in front of Gelshin, would stretch out one of his hands.
They woke up at the wrong time. Die, Celestial Eliminator!
Gelshin's body would be reduced to dust, as well as his soul, so that he would not be able to reincarnate again. Frike, observing how his companion was completely destroyed, would panic.
I'm not going to go to hell alone. I'll use the same technique that Zalma's useless one uses in his finale, but I'll combine it with my negative energy. You would do that if you had the time or skill that my father had to create it. You're a simple fly by his side. Die.
A powerful dragon was able to pulverize Frike, the Prince of the Underworld. Kakarot, by possessing the power of Zalama, he was able to bring all the fallen warriors back to life and restoring all the 12 universes. But in front of them, a golden door would open from which Reich, the king of the celestial world, would appear.
Nice to meet you, Kakarot. You'll be the protector of these 12 universes, and very soon, you'll be able to be in the place where we are.
Live your life to the fullest, my son.
Of course I do, Father. Thank you for saving me.
Thus, Kakarot became a symbol of salvation in all the 12 universes. $70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was.
What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void?
What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son.
Zeno-sama, my son. You've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored. Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father,
All this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills.
Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. It was our first encounter with an enemy of another level. But we cannot forget the Cell Bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong.
Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time he showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
The fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Buu became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest.
Yes, but don't forget about Beerus. That god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right. And now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly. Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe.
The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving. Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong. But I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest.
Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark. And a dark, powerful presence fills the place.
What's going on, Mr. Whis?
Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be?
The darkness intensifies and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula.
Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What?
The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems.
This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected. Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents? The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him.
I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse?
At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies.
Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as Supreme God. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point. The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous.
Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury.
You do not deserve the title of god at all. Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination.
It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail.
In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to re-establish balance through my creation.
In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared.
You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But I will give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so that the power will prevail.
Earth 2024.
What?
This can't be true.
Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh? We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally.
The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxis Nocturne. Planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes.
Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight.
This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants.
The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before.
After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament.
Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It will be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences.
In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great!
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods.
Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle.
At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces this situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for the survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them.
But what is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My Shadow Warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior will be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you? We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted. The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law. The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, will not allow them to stop our progress.
The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages and the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious shadow warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space. The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the shadow creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum.
Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out!
Let's go, Kakarot!
The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the shadow creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans?
Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par. Damn it! It can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack. but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin.
Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta. This creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta. Let's attack together and put an end to this.
For once, Kakarot, I agree.
The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyan's attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense. Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast.
The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing. Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together.
All right, Kakarot, together we'll defeat it.
Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late.
Kame! Ah! Final Flash!
The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyan's assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble. This thing's stronger than we thought.
Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing.
Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta!
The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge that blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds. "Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting!" At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan prince. As he stood up, his eyes were gaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
"Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique?" Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies. "Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!"
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell was it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light! It's time to seal your fate!
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness! Prepare for the end!
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku.
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight.
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight. We won't let them defeat us.
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly. Gohan, Broly, stay strong.
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta! If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything!
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature, in its enhanced form, launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys. Let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the dark possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly,
fight against this influence.
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks. Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you! The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark entity intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury. We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes! The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision. Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness! The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyan's attacks. Broly, under the dark possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled. We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist.
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him! In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated. It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession! At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyan's momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the dark possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed the most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan's prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power, and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan. The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature.
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious. The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The shadow creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta. Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us! The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos it had sown, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses, however the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession. Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this! Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku. Vegeta, keep up the pressure! I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan! Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack, A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the sphere grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the Shadow Creature. The Dark Entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan?
That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way! The Shadow Creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways! Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The Shadow Creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans.
Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the Shadow Creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The Dark Entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that Shadow Creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the Shadow Creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the Shadow Creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the Dark Entity was under threat, and the Shadow Creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the Shadow Creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan? As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life.
So what's the plan, Piccolo?
Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching?
That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up, so the shadow creature set out to return to its master.